Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're looking at something that's literally been hiding in plain sight your entire life. Seriously, picture a map of the United States. Really visualize it. Have you ever noticed that a huge chunk of the country looks like it was just drawn with the ruler? We're going to unravel a pretty fascinating geographical anomaly today, the mystery of American state borders. It's an amazing story packed with history, logistics, and map-making, and we are going to solve this massive visual puzzle together. All right, let's dive right in.
So think about that map again, specifically the middle and western halves. We're talking about places like Colorado, Wyoming, Utah. The big question is, why are so many of these US states just perfect rectangles? It seems kind of unnatural, doesn't it? I mean, geography is usually super messy, right? It's full of jagged mountains and winding rivers. Yet somehow we have these giant geometric shapes just stamped across an entire continent.
Let's put this into perspective. If you look at European borders, they are incredibly detailed, squiggly, and, well, chaotic. That's because they developed organically over hundreds and hundreds of years of complex human history, wars, shifting natural boundaries, the whole shebang. But then you look at Western American borders, and you just see these perfectly straight lines stretching for hundreds of kilometers without a single interruption. It's this massive, crazy shift from organic history to what looks like a mathematical formula. But to really understand why these straight lines exist, we actually need to rewind and go back to the very beginning.
Part 1. The Organic Eastern Borders.
You see, for hundreds of years, all throughout the 1600s and 1700s, the original 13 colonies developed highly detailed, irregular borders based on natural geography. Just like over in Europe, these lines were totally dictated by rivers, mountain ridges, and organic settlement patterns. And even as early, newly acquired states started forming, this messy, natural process just kept going. But then, in 1803, everything changed. The Louisiana Purchase triggered an absolutely unprecedented wave of westward expansion, which completely shifted how the young nation thought about space and map-making.
Part 2. The Westward Grid Solution.
So, faced with a staggering amount of sparsely populated land, the government suddenly had to solve a massive logistical nightmare. They urgently needed a way to map and sell the land at a speed no one had ever seen before. Here are the exact bureaucratic steps they took. Step 1. The rapid physical expansion westward post-Louisiana Purchase. Step 2. The government largely ignored existing indigenous territories, essentially treating the map as a blank slate, despite the populations already living there. And Step 3. They decided the absolute fastest, most efficient way to process, divide, and distribute all this new land was to just carve it up into massive square grids.
And that brings us to the ultimate aha solution to our rectangular mystery, the Public Land Survey System. This was an ingenious, albeit super rigid system created by the government to systematically divide the land into simple square grids. By turning this raw, untamed geography into a massive continental checkerboard, they completely simplify the whole process. Mapmakers weren't out in the wilderness tracing rivers anymore. They were literally sitting at desks, drawing boxes on a massive grid to easily pop out new state borders as simple rectangles. That intense bureaucratic desire for speed and efficiency is exactly why the West looks the way it does today.
Part 3. Exceptions to the rule.
Now, of course, geography still occasionally overpowered the government's desire for perfect geometry. Take Texas, for example. It is entirely unique because it kept its old historical border from its time before even joining the United States, pretty much defying the neat grid system entirely. Meanwhile, you have Washington State, where the southern border completely broke from the grid to follow the immense natural boundary of the Columbia River. These exceptions are just a really wonderful reminder that reality always throws a wrench into even the most brilliant bureaucratic systems.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We've just seen how massive state borders, things that seem so permanent, so absolute to us today, were really just lines drawn on a grid to solve a bureaucratic logistical problem back in the 1800s. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If our borders are just lines drawn to solve historical problems, what other straight lines in our lives are just historical accidents? What other rules, boundaries, or structures do we just accept as permanent simply because someone a long time ago needed a quick solution? Thank you so much for joining me. Keep questioning the world around you and keep exploring.